Yo guys, what is up? It is James. Welcome back to another video. So I first want to apologize for not uploading the past couple of days. And the reason for that is because I have been streaming. So if you have caught a couple of my streams that I've been doing outside of recording, then you would know that the struggles that I've been having with pets is real. Trying to get the Wild Breaker right here, the level 65 life, trying to get him back into the arena with a defensive life strategy with Balance Master, because I do have Lore Master. So that's been going on. I've also been farming lore on a level 1 life to see if I can get Lore Master, because I've decided that Grandmaster Balance PvP really isn't all that top tier. Some people who are very, very good at it might be able to get like 2k rating, 3k rating, although in 4th age I would assume it would be very, very hard, and I'm not willing to put all of that time into a Grandmaster character because, you know, I'm out of school and I have other stuff going on in my life, so I don't really have time to be sitting in 4-5 hour matches like some of you do. But, you know, no shots fired. I'm just saying it's not really my cup of tea, so I'm gonna wait, you know, before I decide to level a character to Grand and whatnot. So I did not get lore on my life, in case you are wondering. I've made like 2 level 1s because the first one wasn't getting anything, yada yada yada, and the second one got like some BS cards from lore. So I might discontinue the lore farming streams and whatnot, because I don't know, I've been focusing on other things like legendary life, so that is what I want to do next on the channel. But before summer ends, or for some of you summer has already ended, but before my summer ends, I want to get out at least 1 more top 5, maybe 2, but at least 1 more top 5, and I want to get out 1 more marathon. I'm not sure what marathon that is. I'm sure I will post a poll about it, or if I want to, I will just, you know, decide what marathon that I want to do. Probably a poll though. I don't know yet, but those are the things that I want to do before summer ends and what I am working on currently, which is legendary life. Now, some of you may be thinking, you know, what's going to happen with the podcast? You know, I'm still waiting on Sophia to post her video about it. She said she might get it out Monday or sometime next week, so we're banking on that. And then I also have to wait on It's Michael to post his video about it, and then us as a group can decide on what topic we want to talk about first. And how the podcast is going to go is the first podcast will be on my channel, the second podcast will be on Michael's channel, third one on Sophia's, and the 4th one on FM's, and it will rotate like that. So you kind of have to, you know, sub to the group to be able to catch up on podcasts and whatnot. The videos will be split up on our channels, and I think that's the best way to go about it. So I think we'll just mention that a new podcast is out when it gets put up on others' channels, in our own videos, and I think that would be optimal for what we are trying to do with the podcasts and whatnot. So enough of that, and into the meat of the video, which is, should turn-based come to ranked? Now, I know a lot of you have been saying, no, this is such a bad idea, and the reason, okay, like, me personally, I am hardcore 50-50 on this, because, in my opinion, if turn-based comes to ranked, this will ultimately bring back 4v4, this will bring back 3v3, 2v2, like, you will see a lot of matches that aren't 1v1, that aren't 2v2, in queue, because this gives players so much freedom. Turn-based does. It gives players so much freedom. There is no more predicting in terms of, like, you know, like, oh, I think he's going to do this, so let me do that. There's none of that. It gives you so much freedom to do whatever you want, and it's crazy, and I'll tell you guys why in a little bit. But should turn-based come to rank? Now, as I stated before, I am 50-50 on this. You know, there are good things and bad about it. Most of us are saying, you know, don't let it come to ranked, because KingsOut, actually, believe it or not, if you haven't seen it, one of the people that I think was working on turn-based before it actually came to the game, was saying in a KI Live that, you know, we hope to make this, you know, a replacement for ranked PvP. And a lot of players were like, yes, and a lot of players were like, no. I think the majority of players were like, no, because I've been talking to a lot of my friends, and they've been like, no, dude, I don't want turn-based to come to ranked, mainly because if turn-based comes to ranked, it will give a lot more freedom to players. Predictions will be no more, basically. It will be solely based on pure strategy, what you have in your hand, and your ability to make fast decisions in high pressure situations. And to most of us, you know, we've become accustomed to, you know, how the way ranked is right now, how the way max PvP is with how broken it is. And we've just been trying to glide by with, you know, whatever we can scrounge up to make a good strategy and hope that we get first, essentially. Some of us win from second. It's not really likely though, unless you're versing somebody that has no idea what they're doing, etc., etc. There are multiple ways. I'm not going to go through all of them, but essentially, because the system is new, a lot of us have been saying, you know, just don't. You know, we've been telling you how to fix ranked, since the players are the ones actually going in and experiencing the flaws and the problems with shadow spells and critical and whatnot. I think critical is not really going to be touched or changed anytime soon because of this system change and, you know, etc., etc. So I don't think that we can complain about critical too much more. I think the best thing to do is just, you know, pray you block. That's just the best thing. I don't know, but because it's new, a lot of players have been saying don't do it. And I kind of agree with that, because if they would just, you know, make shadow spells non-PvP, and they would start coming out with, like, say, 7-pip spells in new worlds that did new things, you know, that weren't exactly lore spells or could be classified as lore spells, I think that would be much better. Because then we would have, you know, lower pip spells that you would have to be a higher level to get that would do more damage, but you would have to have, you know, the pips to actually use them. And they wouldn't be, you know, super broken, but they wouldn't be bad either. I think that would be, you know, a much better compromise than making shadow spells PvP, because, you know, as we come out with new shadow spells, they just get, you know, more broken, and they take less pips to cast and whatnot. So, you know, for the longest time, we've just been saying, you know, fix shadow spells, like make them no PvP, you know, make the gear in Imperia not have as much crit, just keep Shrike in PvP, or not crit, but Pierce, you know, like take away Pierce, make more resist, make more damage, you know, like make it fully reliant on strategy and not, you know, Pierce heavy mongrels coming into PvP and whatnot. So that's just what I think the majority of the community has been saying. Now, here is my opinions on, like, the hardcore topic. If it does come to ranked, it will ultimately bring back 2v2, 3v3, and 4v4. The reason for this is because I've said this multiple times in this video, but it is in fact very, very true. It will give a lot of freedom to the players. This will make mana burn super OP. This will make things like Orthrus, Deadly Minotaur, you know, Aura Pop, just things like that, things that it will essentially make the super OP things more OP, and the classes that aren't really good in max PvP and like levels like 60, if you're not running like a super defensive strategy, it will make them very, very good as an offensive strategy in turn-based. It's actually ridiculous. Aura Pop becomes super broken. Mana Burn becomes super broken because if you mana burn somebody and it's your turn, they can't do anything that turn. So their pips get completely taken. So if they did not tower shield that round, if they bladed or infouled, then you have an option between mana burning them or aura popping them, and they can't do anything about that. They do have the option to heal, which makes me switch into my next topic, which is one of the cons of turn-based, which is Jades and very high resist. I think Jades would dominate in turn-based. I haven't really seen Jades, you know, do or cause too much commotion in turn-based yet, because it's just too early to say anything about it. But I think for the most part, Jades would just wreck in 2v2. Jades meaning, you know, high resist, not essentially, you know, like Angel Strat, but Angel Strat still, I mean, could dominate in turn-based, because with tournaments, you know, it's timed, you know, like you have to either win or lose in a set amount of time. If it comes to ranked, you have days to time somebody out of their reshuffles. And on top of that, it's high pressure, and you only have like a short, limited amount of time to choose your cards and pick from TC. Jades would just dominate in turn-based ranked. It would be absolutely ridiculous, especially if they went immune to you. You would have to flee. On top of that, you know, Max's running damn near, you know, immune to every school. Oh my lord. You know, like the New World gear would just have to be stacked with Pierce. It would absolutely be ridiculous. Anybody who wouldn't have the new gear, or, you know, the new, like the highest Pierce stats, you know, decent damage, decent resist, would basically lose a match if you didn't have like top tier stats. It would be ridiculous. Jades, Jujus, you know, like balances, cards like even like Power Link and whatnot would become super broken because it has so many effects. It heals you, you have a chance of critting on it, it's an overtime, takes off infections and weaknesses and towers. It's really broken. Turn-based, some people might say, you know, it's good, you know, like if you do turn-based ranked, you have to have a strategy, you have to expect the unexpected, you know, it's for quote-unquote more skillful players. I mean, in my opinion, I think you guys would regret saying that, because yeah, turn-based, it gives more freedom to you and the other person than you might think. And if you hate balances now, you're gonna hate them if turn-based comes to ranked. I'm just letting you know that right now. You're gonna hate deaths, you're gonna hate myths, and you're gonna especially hate balances, because balances are going to start smacking ices, because that's just how the meta will be. So I think a lot of ideas are being tossed up into the air. Me, I'm 50-50 on it. I think, you know, if it does come to ranked, a lot of chaos will break loose. I want to finish off the video talking with you guys about, you know, 2v2, 3v3, and 4v4, as I was saying earlier in the video, how that would get brought back, and how that would be super just, oh my god, all over the place, dude. So the reason why turn-based would bring back all of these, you know, like multiple man matches is because you can literally, like, if it's your team's turn, you can have the first person Sanctuary, the second person Rebirth, possibly crit on it, or Pigsy, or Unicorn, and then the third person can Doom and Gloom. And then once it's not your team's turn, the other team can do the exact same thing, and it would be chaos because the matches would go on so long unless you somehow got blades on a person and completely just shut down the other team and had the third person Doom. And 4v4s would be absolutely ridiculous. The matches would either take, you know, a couple rounds, or it would take days, possibly. Well, probably not days, but it would take hours, if not at max. You know what I'm saying? At max, it probably wouldn't last that long. At lower levels, the matches would either take long, or they would take, you know, not that long at all. So, I mean, those, like, my opinions are kind of all over the place. I encourage you guys to form your own opinions and whatnot. I apologize for this video being like super sloppy, I guess you could say, because I wasn't really thinking about what I was going to say. I just kind of laid my thoughts out on the table. I will try to edit this video so that it's not too sloppy, but I do encourage you guys to form your own opinions on turn-based, and, you know, what you think about KingsOwl thinking about putting turn-based to ranked, or replacing the rank system with turn-based, how you think that would affect the meta. And yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today, because I haven't really seen any other videos on YouTube talking about, you know, oh, turn-based, ranked, you know, what happens if this replaces that. So that's going to be my video for today. More stuff coming very, very soon. Again, I apologize for not uploading. I have been streaming though, so if you do have my notifications on, by the way, turn them on. You can get notified of when I go live if I am streaming. You know, pet stuff, lore farming, whatever have me, I guess. And that's going to be it for today. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.